Today we'll start with the new topic, gear trains. So what is a gear train? If power is transmitted by using more than two gears, then the arrangement is called as gear train. So we know that the small distances of the shafts, when the power to be transmitted, we usually use the gears. When the gears are used more than two gears, then the arrangement is called as a gear trains. In the gear trains, we have four types: simple gear train, compound gear train, reverted gear train, and epicyclic gear train. Before we start with these gear trains, to understand these gear trains, let us understand few basics, that is velocity ratio or speed ratio. So what is this? So it is a ratio of angular speed of driver gear to the angular speed of the driven gear. That is, velocity ratio is given by omega 1 by omega 2, where omega 1 is the angular speed of the driver gear and omega 2 is the angular speed of the driven gear, which can be written as n1 by n2. And next we have one more parameter called as a train value. Train value is the reciprocal of the velocity ratio. It is the ratio of angular speed of the driven gear to the angular speed of the driver gear, that is omega 2 by omega 1, which is equal to n2 by n1. So next let us see the types of gear trains. The first one we have simple gear train. So when each shaft carries only one gear in the gear train arrangement, such gear train arrangement is called as a simple gear train. So let us refer this figure. Here the power is transmitted from this shaft to this shaft with the help of another gear, that is, this is the gear 1, this is the gear 2, and this is the gear 3. The power is transmitted from gear 1 to gear 3, and here you can observe that each shaft is carrying only one gear. This shaft is carrying gear 1, this shaft is carrying gear 2, and this shaft is carrying gear 3. Because of this reason we call it as a simple gear train. So if you consider the speed of gear 1 as n1 and number of teeth as z1, similarly n2 z2 for gear 2 and n3 z3 for gear 3, speed and number of teeth on the gears. Next we can write velocity ratio for gear 1 and gear 2 as n1 by n2 is equal to z2 by z1. Let us call this as a equation number 1. Similarly, velocity ratio for the gear 2 and gear 3 is written as n2 by n3, can be written as z3 by z2. Let us call this as a equation number 2. Multiplying equation 1 and 2, we get n1 by n2 into n2 by n3 is equal to z2 by z1 into z3 by z2. Here n2 will get cancelled, so we left with n1 by n3 is equal to, and here z2 will get cancelled, we left with z3 by z1. Therefore velocity ratio for this gear train arrangement is n1 by n3 is equal to z3 by z1. Similarly, we know that the train value for the gear train is the reciprocal of the velocity ratio. Therefore train value is equal to n3 by n1 is equal to z1 by z3. So this is the method of finding velocity ratio and train value for the simple gear train. Next we have compound gear train. Each shaft carries two or more gears except the first and last, which acts as a driver and driven gear. Such an arrangement is called as a compound gear train. So here in the following figure you can see that the first and last shaft is carrying only one gear. The in between shaft is carrying two gears, that is a compound gear. So this arrangement is called as a compound gear trains. I repeat once again, each shaft carries two or more gears except first and last. So in this arrangement you can see that the first and last is carrying only one shaft and the middle shaft is carrying two gears, that is a compound gear. Hence the arrangement is called as a compound gear train. For such an arrangement, so let us find the velocity ratio. First we'll consider the velocity ratio for gear 1 and 2. So velocity ratio for gear 1 and 2 is N1 by N2, that is angular speed of the driver gear to the driven gear. N1 by N2 is equal to Z2 by Z1, that is number of teeth on the driven gear and the driver gear. Let us call this as the equation number 1. Similarly, velocity ratio for gear 3 and 4. Here you can see the gear 3 is in contact with the gear 4. That is why I have taken it as a gear 3 and 4. We cannot take 2 and 4 because 2 and 4 are not in contact with each other. 1 and 2 are in contact with each other. I have taken 1 and 2. 3 and 4 are in contact with each other. So we have to take it as 3 and 4. So it is N3 by N4. Again it is a angular speed of driver gear to the driven gear. So N3 by N4 is equal to Z4 by Z3. We call it as a equation number 2. Multiplying equation 1 and 2, we have N1 by N2 into N3 by N4 is equal to Z2 by Z1 into Z4 by Z3. And here, since gear 2 and 3 are the compound gears, hence speed of these gear 2 and 3 will be same. Therefore, we cancel N2 and N3 since speed of gear 2 is equal to speed of gear 3 as they are lying on the same shaft. Therefore, velocity ratio N1 by N4 is equal to Z2 into Z4 divided by Z1 into Z3 is the velocity ratio for the given compound gear. As we know that train value is the reciprocal of the velocity ratio, therefore train value is equal to N4 by N1 is equal to Z1 into Z3 divided by Z2 into Z4. That we can say it as Z1 into Z3 as product of number of teeth on the driver gear. So gear 1 and 3 are the driver gears. So it is a product of number of teeth on the driver gear to the product of number of teeth on the driven gears. So 2 and 4 are the driven gears. So this is how we can write velocity ratio and train value for the given compound gear train arrangement. Next we have reverted gear train. So let us first understand the given figure. So this is the first gear is given with number 1. This is the driver gear. So the first gear will drive the gear 2. Gear 2 is on this shaft, and on the same shaft we have another gear called as a gear number 3. So gear 2 and gear 3 are the compound gears since they are lying on the same shaft. and gear 3 is in contact with the gear number 4, which is a driven gear, that is the last gear. So power is transmitted from this shaft to this shaft, and we can see that these axis of the first shaft and last shaft is lying in the same axis, and the center distance between the two shafts are the same. For this gear and this gear, the center distance is same. So this type of arrangement we call it as a reverted gear train. So let us see the first point about the reverted gear train. In this arrangement, gear train, first and last gears are on the same axis. So as I explained, the first gear and the last gear are on the same axis. Next, center distance of the two pairs of gears must be same. That is, this pair and this pair, the center distance remains same. That is, R1 plus R2 is equal to R3 plus R4. This is R1, R2 is equal to R3 and R4. This sum should be equal to this sum. Then we call it as center distance remains same. The next point is module is same for all the gears. The number of teeth is proportional to the pitch circle radius. So when the module is same for all the gears, obviously the number of teeth is proportional to the pitch circle radius. Therefore we can write this equation as Z1 plus Z2 is equal to Z3 plus Z4. To check the velocity ratio of this reverted gear train arrangement, we can write N1 by N2 is equal to Z2 by Z1. Since N1, gear 1 and gear 2 are in contact, we can write N1 by N2 is equal to Z2 by Z1. And gear 3 and gear 4 are in contact, we can write N3 by N4 is equal to Z4 by Z3. Multiplying these two equations, we can write N1 by N2 into N3 by N4 is equal to Z2 by Z1 into Z4 by Z3. And here, since the speed of gear 2 and gear 3 are same, so we can cancel these N2 and N3, and we can write velocity ratio as N1 by N4 is equal to Z2 into Z4 divided by Z1 into Z3. That is the velocity ratio. Here I will write velocity ratio is equal to Z2 into Z4 divided by Z1 into Z3. And we know that train value is the reciprocal of the velocity ratio. Hence, train value for the given reverted gear train arrangement is Z1 into Z3 divided by Z2 into Z4 is the train value for the given reverted gear train. Next we have epicyclic gear train, which is also known as planetary gear train. So this is the gear train arrangement what we have. The gear 1 is fixed, gear 2 is connected with the arm 3. So the main feature of the epicyclic gear train is that the axis of rotation of all the wheels are not fixed, and here you can see that in the arrangement only the axis of rotation of wheel 1 is fixed, whereas wheel 2 is not fixed. The second feature is axis of some gears, one or more, having relative motion with respect to other or relative to the frame. So here we can see that the gear 2 axis of rotation is not fixed, and its relative motion with respect to the other is having with the frame. So it has a relative motion with the frame also. And here in the figure we can see that gear 2 revolves about its own axis. Gear 2 revolves about its own axis as well as about the center of the fixed gear 1. Such an arrangement we call it as a epicyclic gear train. To find velocity ratio and the train value or the speed of gear 1 or gear 2, we have methods to find. One is the algebraic method and other we have a tabular column method. Today we will discuss about the tabular column method, which is more convenient for solving the problems on the epicyclic gear train to find velocity ratio and the train value. To start with the tabular column method, first we have condition of motion. Next we have arm, that is here we can see the arm 3. Next we have gear 1 and gear 2. So first fix up the arm and give +1 revolution to gear 1. So we fix the arm and we give 1 revolution to gear 1. So in the arm column I will write 0, since arm we have fixed, and we have given +1 revolution to the gear 1, so I will write gear 1 as 1. Therefore in the gear 2 column I write minus Z1 by Z2. The negative sign indicates that gear 2 will rotate in the opposite direction of the gear 1. So negative Z1 by Z2. So once we write the first row properly and if you understand this, the rest of the procedure is quite simple. The next step is multiplying the x with the above parameters. So multiplying x with 0, we will get 0. Multiplying x with +1, we get x. And multiplying x with this parameter, that is minus z1 by z2 into x. The next procedure is add y to the above parameters. That is the parameters which are there in the second row. So when you add y with 0, you will get y. Add y to the x, you write y plus x. Add y to this parameter, so I will write plus y, and this as it is minus z1 by z2 into x. So with the help of these equations we can calculate the parameters like speed of the wheels, velocity ratio, or the train value of the epicyclic gear train. So in the next video we'll start with the problems on the epicyclic gear train using tabular column method.